Hello, PodFam, and hello, Rachel. How are you today?
I am good. How are you, Laura?
Oh, pretty good. I am just brewing a cup of tea here.
Oh,
Are you drinking tea today?
I am. I have a lemon balm tea.
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
it's really good. It doesn't taste very lemony, so I'm not actually sure what it is, but it does the trick.
Do you have some name brand tea over there, or is it like the real stuff?
It's the real stuff. It's the organic herbal tea.
Okay, that's acceptable. You know
Yes.
I'm a tea snob.
I I definitely do. What tea are you brewing right now?
So I am drinking hot yoga.
Ooh, I thought that you ran out of it.
No, I had one little spoonful left, so I had to brew it up just for this episode. It's a nice spicy cardamom, cinnamon, and ginger tea, and it really warms you up on a nice cold evening.
That sounds amazing. Everything that happens, I'm like, wow, this podcast was meant to be.
Really, yes.
You had the one hot yoga left.
It was just magical, right?
It really
Like,
was.
it's not like I'm drinking the exact same tea I was drinking on the last episode. I wouldn't lie like that.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Swear.
We don't
Little
lie.
angel over here. Angel. Angel.
Yes, it's like Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove.
Yes.
Yes.
Lie about the tea. No, don't lie about the tea.
Don't lie about the tea. Lie about it. All right. So, if you are new here, which you may be because it's only episode 2, Laura
Even
and
we're new
I,
here.
huh?
Even we're new here.
I Okay, you know what? I'm trying to be all like cute and fun, okay?
Sorry, you
Anyway,
do the intro, okay? Just do the intro. I'll shut up.
all right. So, Laura and I are lifelong best friends. We have known each other since I was 4 and she was 8. We grew up together in the pony world, or for those of you that do not know what that means, we are equestrians. So
I feel like Pony World might
basically,
resonate a little bit more.
pardon, the pony world,
Pony World
you
probably
know.
resonates more than
Okay, well, they're going to think that we live in like My Little Pony land, okay?
Okay.
Okay. But as we were saying, yeah, so we have known each other for a very, very long time. And we are basically joined at the hip with our daily phone conversations. And we have traveled together, and now we are working together.
Yes, I'm really excited about this new little venture that we have. And essentially, all we're doing on this podcast is we are literally recording our phone calls. This is stuff that we talk about daily, all day, every
Mm-hmm.
day. And, if you just need someone to drink and have tea with, I mean, you don't have to drink tea. You can totally drink whatever you want.
If you want some wine, have some
Yeah, have
wine.
some wine. We don't care. Like, we're just having tea because if we drink too much, we won't be able to speak.
No, because our tolerance has gone to maybe half a glass of wine.
Yeah, I miss that university liver. That was a good time.
Oh, good times.
I'm like 2 ciders, and I'm like, whew, it's a wild night having 2 ciders.
Your face is feeling a little hot.
It is.
So back on track.
Yeah,
You can
speaking
tell
of
that we have a bit
university.
yes, you can tell that we have a bit more of a playful approach to this episode, and
Oh
that
god, the
is
cat.
huh?
Sorry, the cat is trying to break down my fort.
Alright, this episode is gonna be fun to edit.
Yes, it will be. Oh my
Alrighty. Is
god.
she behaving?
Um, I think so.
Before we jump into the episode, we are just gonna add a little disclaimer that we are going to be jumping into topics around health, wellness, and fitness, and this is about our experience with these topics, but we do want to warn people that there is potential for a trigger.
So, Rachel, what are we going to be talking about today?
Today, we are going to be taking a bit of a playful approach into the top lessons that we have learned regarding our health and wellness in our 20s.
Oh yeah, that's a journey, all right.
That really is. Sometimes I think back to 20-year-old Rachel, and I really question what she would do.
Yeah, and,
in
you know,
multiple
from
facets, but mostly in health and wellness.
Yeah, yeah, and, you know, leading up to recording this episode today, I was thinking about, you know, back in first year Laura and what she did, and I was just like, "Wow, that was fun. That was
Yeah,
fun." Didn't know what I was doing, but, it was fun.
just God bless them, you know?
Mhm. Yep.
We were
We
really
honor
something.
them. They have a special place in our hearts, and, you know,
Yes,
we all start somewhere on our health and fitness journey.
we do. So today we each have 3 that we were gonna touch on, and we're just gonna go back and forth. So, do you wanna go first or should I go first?
How about you go first?
Alrighty. My pretty much number 1 that I've learned is stop buying the spinach. Like, seriously. The sheer amount of spinach and other various vegetables that I have bought because the world says that you need to have these in your diet in order to be healthy is astronomical, and I have probably eaten none of it. And then I just feel bad because it sits in my fridge and it watches me. I mean, it doesn't, but it feels like it does because I feel guilty.
It watches you eat that pizza, doesn't it?
You know what? Especially the worst was in university when you were in the middle of exams and you hadn't eaten a good meal in 2 weeks, and you would order your
Mhm.
5th Domino's of that week, and you just know that those vegetables are in there and they are rotting and they're sad.
They're judgmental
They
rotting.
really are. So, basically, to round that out, my top lesson is actually buy the food that you enjoy and that you're gonna like to eat because there's lots of vegetables and lots of different ways that you can get the exact same nutrients that you would get from the vegetables that you hate and absolutely will not eat.
So, question for you,
Okay.
do you find now I know we're not gonna get too into our, current
Mhm.
habits with food, but do you find that now you eat a little bit more of a balanced diet, where before were you eating, more of like a yo-yo, like you'd kinda hit the health food for a while and then fall off and get back on it? Like,
Yes.
what do you think changed?
Yes, definitely. I think that now I have a way better balance where if I wanna eat a chocolate bar, I'm gonna eat a chocolate bar. But at nighttime for dinner, I'll make like a soup that has a bunch of different root vegetables and a good protein source and such. And I found that it's really helped my perception of my health because it gives you a new perception of how to approach your health that doesn't feel like you need to restrict. Because I was definitely on a yo yo before because I got it in my head about all of these different fitness goals I wanted to achieve. And I would buy the spinach, if we're gonna tie it back to that, because I would make a lot of smoothies, and for periods of time, I would just have smoothies for breakfast and lunch. And then the next week,
Mhm.
I would be like, throw that all out the window and buy some mini eggs and pizza.
Yeah, yeah, and I think now, like, with your, fitness journey, it's a lot more
Mhm.
consistent because you're it's not like you're trying to, not that you were ever crash dieting, but, you know, you're not flipping between all health and nothing. You're just kinda, okay, health, but a little bit of
Mhm.
fun, and you still see results, you know, it's not like, you have a piece of pizza and, you know, your hard work goes out the window. It's fine. It's you're just enjoying your
Mhm.
life.
And I definitely think I've honestly seen the best results with this balance
Mhm.
over before because also in a way with how I was eating when I was on that yo-yo. When I was eating healthy, I was not eating enough.
Yeah, and then that would kinda flip the switch and be like, "Okay, I'm starving, like, give me the closest carb that I can
Yes,
find."
and usually that wound up being pizza.
It's always pizza. Pizza is always the
It's
answer.
just it's just so accessible. Just
Mhm.
Domino's, it just gets to your door in like 10 minutes. It's beautiful.
Yep. That's true.
So what is your number 1?
So I think my number one, I'm gonna go with kind of back in the university days when, you know, in your tuition, whatever that all entailed, you sometimes got a gym membership and access to good facilities And then if you looked into it a little bit more, there was actually a lot of scheduled fitness programs. Now, this was something like in my first 2 years, I was still kind of discovering working out. I was really active my whole childhood and up until going to university. And that's kind of when I started doing a bit of like the Pinterest
Mhm.
workout back in the day. But it wasn't until my 3rd and actually almost my 4th year, 4th and 5th year, that I actually kinda took advantage of the services that were at schools. Like, we had 2
Mhm.
fantastic gyms, and then, for free, I was actually able to sign up for classes, and the best thing I ever took was this introduction to yoga.
Okay.
Now, yoga had been something I kinda dabbled in over the years, but, it was always that one-off, I don't wanna say, like, not real yoga, but you didn't really know what you were doing. You're like, "I'm just doing these fancy stretches."
Yes.
So, I kinda got to a point where I really did wanna learn how to do yoga properly,
Mhm.
and, lo and behold, my university was offering an intro class. So, for about 4 months, I did everything from, like, super basic yoga
Mhm.
up until, like, advanced, and each week was building, so it was just a great, thing that, I wish I knew about earlier. So, if you're still in school and just look into that kinda stuff if you are looking for fitness, motivation, especially, because I knew every Wednesday night I was gonna be going to my yoga class.
Mhm. And do you just side note, quick question, do you think that by taking advantage of the gym membership itself, along with the different scheduled classes, that it helped you understand how to properly structure workouts for you?
Yeah, and I think it was kind of, I don't know if you can relate to this, the university gym.
Oh, yeah.
It was, a bit terrifying at
Mhm.
first. As a girl, I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna do, like, the crunches, the aerobic stuff," because, I'd love to learn how to use, weight machines, but there's, like, a lot of, like, juice head guys
Yeah.
there, and I feel like they're gonna judge me. So it did take me a while to kinda venture into that side of the gym.
Mhm.
But what was really great is because of your class schedules, it doesn't really matter what time you go. And so a couple friends of mine and we would kind of meet up at the gym.
Mhm.
And even if we only did like half hour, 45 minutes, we kind of gave each other the courage to walk into the weight room and, play around with the squat machine, play around with the weights and cable machines. So it was kind of a good introduction. I
Mhm.
just wish I had it earlier.
Yeah, having a good gym buddy, especially in university, is key.
Yeah, and it's definitely that motivation and, going back to the classes, that was definitely key for me, and then, I knew on Fridays, a friend of mine and we had the same, spare, free time, so we would always take our gym stuff with us to school that day and actually do a little workout.
Mhm.
So, I definitely say that's the start of, my gym experience.
That sounds pretty similar
Uh,
to mine, really.
yeah.
Yeah, I always found too, especially at my school, it was next to impossible to get to the weight room, not be eventually I wasn't scared of it anymore, but just the sheer number of those juice head guys that would take up every single squat rack.
Oh, it was crazy. It was like a jungle in there.
It
Like,
really was.
the number of people that would be packed into the weight room, it was insane.
I know. It's just you wouldn't see it during COVID times, that's for sure.
No, definitely not now. So would you say that university was kind of the first time you stepped foot in a gym?
Yes. The first time I stepped foot in a gym was in my first year, and I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah, you kind of feel like a deer in headlights and you feel like everyone is watching you and judging you. But really, like, I don't think anyone ever cares what someone else is doing in the gym unless you're like that really loud grunting guy, then I do notice you.
And then I do judge
But
you.
oh, I totally judge you. But as long as you're, like, doing your thing and respectful in the gym, everyone else is doing their own thing. Like, I know I've never really noticed what other people are doing, but
Mhm,
I think in our own heads, we're always like, "Oh my god, they're watching every movement, and what if I'm not doing it right?" It was just a good introduction. I'd been playing around with, like, little fitness programs at home before,
mhm.
But, yeah, that was kinda where I had my first gym experience.
I love that.
Yeah. So what's your number 2 point?
My number 2 is that for me personally, anything in health and fitness that has to do with numbers is it triggers a very obsessive component of myself, and over time, I've learned that even do you know those MyFitnessPal apps
Yep.
that track your steps?
Oh, yeah, yeah, like a
Yes.
Fitbit kinda thing?
Yeah, so, at least for my phone, I just have an app on it, but I've even had to stop looking at the number of steps that I take in a day because I've noticed that throughout my journey from my first year of university until now, which is a pretty lengthy period of time, any point in my journey where I focused on counting my macros or counting how many steps I took in a day or counting how many calories the treadmill would say that I had burned that day if I was running for 30 minutes or whatever, it would trigger a part of me that really hyper focused on those numbers and
Like,
would
it
be
kinda became your life a little bit.
yeah, and I would, usually it tying actually back into my first point is that if I started obsessing over the numbers, I was also obsessing over the food.
Right, right,
So
they definitely go hand in hand.
yeah, so I would start that's usually when I would get on my, "Okay, we're gonna have a lot of smoothies" kick, and then, obviously, it eventually wasn't sustainable, so then I would completely drop the numbers, and I would drop the healthy eating. So, basically, what I've learned over time is that, at least for me personally, using that as a measure of my progress is not effective. And I've
Mhm.
moved more into how do I feel, especially when I wake up in the morning? Do I
Yeah, no, that's
feel
definitely important.
yeah, like, do I feel energized to take on the day? When I eat something, do I feel energized after?
Right.
Because when I have been all over the place with my food and my exercise, there will be it's some days I'm great and some days I'm not, where now I'm finding a good balance where my energy level is pretty consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, now do you, ever weigh yourself, or do you just kinda completely throw all the numbers out now?
I do not weigh myself because that was especially when I was younger, that was something that I would think about a lot, and it was a big lesson to learn that in weighing myself, it wasn't actually reflective because majority of my body mass was muscle.
Right, and, I think weighing I'm same with you, like, I don't even remember the last time I even owned a scale, let alone weighed myself,
Mhm,
um, because the fitter I was, the heavier I was, so it's such, like, an arbitrary number, and, if you're listening to this and you feel like the scale kinda has you, honestly, my recommendation is just get rid of it. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's really our relation to gravity on Earth.
yep,
That's it. And going back to your point, it's how are you feeling when you wake up? How are you feeling after a workout? How are you feeling um, after you eat something? Is it a day where you're gonna push through a crazy cardio session, or do you just want to go for a walk or take a rest?
mhm.
The numbers, they really don't mean anything.
Yeah, because some days you have the energy and the capacity to do 10,000 to 14,000 steps, but some days you don't want to.
No, and you know what? That is okay because the next day when you're feeling it, maybe you're gonna go out and do 30,000. Who knows?
Exactly, and you're gonna get probably a way better workout for your body and also your mental health than you would by forcing something just because you feel like you have to.
Absolutely.
So that wraps up my number 2. What would you say yours is?
So my number 2 is don't fall for the Instagram ads. And I'm not really talking about the influencers. Well, I am, but um that is a whole different can of worms, I think, following influencers.
Mhm.
But for this one in particular, I'm going to talk about the products that they sell because I have definitely fallen for it over the years. And one in particular, you might remember this because I'm pretty sure I made it for you after a crazy night of drinking,
Okay.
was the Fit Girl tea, the Skinny Mint, that's what it was.
I feel like you definitely
Um,
did make that for me.
yeah, do you remember that?
I
'Cause, you
do.
know, I'm a tea fanatic, so if I could be fit and skinny with tea, fuck, I was all over that.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, that was the first Instagram ad that I fell for,
Mhm.
and really it was like a detox tea, and it just kinda made you go to the bathroom a little bit more, you weren't actually
Ah,
losing weight.
it was
S
one of
Yeah,
those.
so yeah, a lot of empty promises, and, that was not a good thing. That was definitely not one of my better financial decisions, but, you know, it was looking at all the influencers and everyone was selling this tea, so I was like, "Well, I like
Yeah.
tea. I'll get it. I'm fit." And then the next thing was the fitness program, and I don't know if you can relate to that one at all, but this was I don't wanna date myself, but yeah, I would have bought this one probably in 3rd or 4th year university, and it was kinda pre-apps, like, you know, everyone has a fitness app now, but before the apps, we had downloadable PDF booklets,
I do remember
and
those.
yes, and, do you know how much I spent on a, workout booklet?
I'm gonna assume because I also did this, that it was around, like, 80 American dollars?
Um, I'm pretty sure so this was an Australian book,
Okay.
and this cost me, I believe, around 125.
Oh.
Yeah, for a university student, I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought this book would have all the answers for me. And I'm not going to say the name of the book because I think it was the important thing is that the type of workout that this influencer was advertising was
Mhm.
not suited to me.
Yeah.
And it kind of came off like I was like, "Oh, I can do all this. I can do all this." But the style was just it was kind of an in between of home workouts and gym workouts.
Mhm.
So, the structure of it was not really, ideal for what I like to do in a workout,
Okay.
and then also just the equipment that you needed, I didn't really have, so I was kinda doing, like, unsafe movements on a bar stool because I didn't have a bench.
Mhm.
Um, Now I don't wanna knock not buying um, fitness programs because I think if you find something that works for you, that is fantastic. In
Mhm.
this case, this is a $125 PDF that I don't think I made it past week 1 because I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think jumping off of that too, there's a lot of research that I would and you probably feel the same way, that I would recommend that you do to actually find which program works for your body.
Absolutely, and I think
Because
yeah, finish your point there.
yeah, because I'm using one now that's actually from an influencer and it's working really well, but the thing is that we have very similar body types.
Absolutely, I think that's definitely key what you said there,
Mhm.
and, yeah, so with this program that I had bought, you know, I really wasn't sure what I liked in a workout yet. I was still kind of experimenting.
Mhm.
So I think I just jumped the gun a little bit by buying that program without really figuring out what I like to do and accomplish.
Mhm.
And, you know, that wasn't the last fitness program that I've bought. I am gonna name drop this next one because it's my favorite and I've done it, I don't even know how many times. It's the Sarah's Day, Sweat It to Shred It and,
Okay.
Sweat It Reload. I love those programs. I love, following Sarah and, her style
Mhm.
is so similar to what I like that, you know, I'm excited to do that. It's a structure that works for me.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Once you find someone that, one, is comparable to your body, but also matches something you already love to do, it
Mhm.
those are the ones that I would recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the time with today's technology, you know, you don't really even have to buy programs. I mean, if you're super dedicated to that person,
Mhm.
absolutely support them um, and do that. But if you're still discovering what you like to do, there's YouTube, there is
Yes.
Pinterest, there is so much that you can look at and get inspired from,
Mhm.
that you don't really need to go out and think that you need to sign up for all these programs and do all this stuff, when you don't even know what you like.
Yes, I definitely agree with that, and I feel like we could do just a whole episode on Instagram and fitness.
Oh, absolutely.
I Yeah, we could really go down a rabbit hole there.
Yes, but we're not gonna do that today, so let me know what your tip number 3 is.
All right, mine is another very self-aware one, and you can probably relate to this, but girl, you need to eat before you go drinking.
I think we can all relate to that one.
Yes, I
Everyone's
mean,
got everyone's got a story on that one.
we do, and I mean, you can't go drinking right now, please, please.
No, no, please, don't go out to the bars.
Stay
Don't
home.
don't go to parties, please. It's not safe right now. In our post-COVID world,
N
we can all go out and have fun, but
Yes,
sadly, we have to stay home right now.
but, even for those Zoom parties, eat some bread, please.
Yeah, I heard you kinda got a little lit on that, Zoom birthday party last weekend.
I did, but you know what? I ate some food, and I felt okay the next day.
Perfect. That is
Yes.
the main thing. You've come a long way.
Yes, because I feel like our older listeners, we've all been there, we all know, but I'm just gonna this is very directed towards our younger listeners who might still be in university. Just eat the pasta.
Doesn't matter what it is. I think I used to make, like, honestly, a giant pot of pasta and just I don't even know if it had sauce on it. I think I just ate the noodles just so I would have something in my stomach and, wouldn't be, fucked the next day.
Exactly, because you know what? It's not worth it. The crop
No,
top is not worth it.
the crop top's not worth it. You can have pasta and wear a crop top, okay, everyone? There is no rule that you don't have to eat before going out in a crop top,
No, you're gonna have a way better time all
and a
around.
much better morning.
Yes,
Yeah,
way better.
can I add one more tip onto your, eat before drinking?
Absolutely.
Before you go to bed, drink as much water as you can.
Yes. I never used to do that.
It really is the cure-all to the hangover.
It
That
really
and a
is.
that and a McDonald's burger the next day.
Ooh, yes. But it's like, how did it take so long to learn that lesson? That's my question.
That's one of those trial and error things.
It really is, except when you're in university, you don't actually really trial.
It's all error.
It's just all error. Alrighty. Well, what is your last one before we close out?
All right. So my last tip is kind of going back to the structured workouts. When I first started working out, it was a new territory for me. I had been super active, so it just really wasn't a thing that I had thought about. I was so busy in my life pre-university that I didn't think that I should schedule activities.
Mhm.
I just was always doing activities. But of course, you enter into first year, whole new life, new schedule, and I didn't want to lose any of my fitness. So that's when I kind of decided that I needed to start doing something that was outside of my regular activities, just
Mhm.
so like I could stay healthy. And this was in 2011 that I was in first year. It's not like we had Instagram, like, yeah, there was YouTube, but social media was, it was we were still on Facebook at the time, we hadn't discovered Instagram or Snapchat and this whole other world. So it was a little bit harder to kinda, at least I found, learn how to work out.
Mhm.
And so Pinterest actually became my best friend. So and I don't know, you've seen the Pinterest workouts, like the one pager of do this every day and you'll have a six pack.
Yes, I've seen that.
Oh, yeah, I believed it.
Those are still going around.
Oh, I know they're still going around, but, I was like, "Okay, if I do this one thing 3 times, I'll be good. I'll
Yep,
be good."
you'll be good to
So,
go.
it really started off with a lot of experimenting. I tried a little bit of running because I used to do a lot of, sprinting and track
Mhm.
back in school, and thought, "Oh, well, maybe I run fast, maybe I can run a distance." That
Mhm.
didn't really work for me. Um, and yeah, just kinda kept dabbling in things, and really that's kinda what you have to do, to discover
Yeah.
what you like. Over the years, I've tried lots of different kinds of workouts. I've tried, kickboxing, yoga, Pilates, following people on their aerobics. I've done the weights, done, some team sports, and lots of kinda activities like that,
Mhm.
and until you can really structure anything, you just have to throw a wide net and then narrow it down from there. Uh, I
Yeah.
think it's a lot easier for people today to kinda do that kinda stuff, only
Mhm.
because there's so much inspiration to draw from.
Yeah. I mean, I went to school in 2014 and Instagram was a thing then. So I mean, it was the start of the top fitness influencers today, but there was just all of that in one place.
Yeah, like,
So
you
it
you
was
probably learned about circuits and, repetitions a little bit sooner than I did on our respective
Mhm.
fitness journeys.
Yes, because especially when I think a lot of those original fitness pages started, everyone was very into the circuits.
Yeah, it was all about HIIT at the time, if I recall correctly.
Yes, hit and ab circuits.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're still about the abs and the booty.
Ugh, I love the booty workouts.
So, like I said, I had to experiment with a lot of things, and then I kind of found my niche, and that was very much a Pilates yoga-based style. It just works for my body. Do a little bit of cardio here and there, but then you kinda look at structuring your workouts in a different way within that realm.
Mhm.
So, it was then becoming, "Okay, today's Monday, well, it's a leg day. Tuesday, it's abs. Uh, Wednesday's cardio." So, that's kinda like my progression there. I didn't know what I was doing at first, but then as I
Mhm.
niched down and found out what I liked, then I was kind of able to expand and make sure that I was, giving each part of my body the right attention to kinda have a nice well-balanced workout.
Yes. And I think figuring out the right workout split for you also takes a lot of time and it changes as
Absolutely,
well.
and I think, the amount of time that you dedicate to working out, because school was such a predictable thing
Mhm.
where once you're out of school, you're gonna have weeks where it's just not gonna happen,
Yeah.
and you can't hold that against yourself, and
Mhm.
then there's other weeks that, you bang it out every day, and it's awesome. But I think you kinda learn to roll with it a little bit more. I had gotten to a point in my working out where if I didn't do it, like, I was so mad at myself. Where now I'm
Mhm.
just like, "You know what? I had a hard day at work. I'm tired, and if I try and work out, it's not gonna be a win for anyone." So,
You're just gonna have a bad workout anyway.
yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna have a bad time. So I'd rather rest and really listen to my body, and then, the next day, I'll probably be feeling great. So
Mhm.
that's kinda where I am right now on how I structure workouts. It's really intuitive, and, if I have a leg day workout planned, but I don't feel like doing legs, I don't do legs, I do something else. So it's really now
Nice.
I'm a little bit more relaxed in my approach, where I kinda went from, not knowing anything to super hyper structured to now
Mhm.
just, like, I just do what I feel.
Yeah. And I think that we could actually that's a great point to almost round out this entire episode is the importance of listening to your body
Absolutely.
because your body knows what is right for itself. And until you kind of give into that intuitive sense of what your body needs, like what your body needs, you're kind of going to be on the struggle bus.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely something I think we both wish that we knew earlier, is
Hmm.
to just be intuitive and listen to your body.
Yes. But I'm pretty sure we have a whole episode planned just about that.
We do. So we're not going to go any further in that. And I think that might be everything for us today. Rachel, do you have any final points at all?
I think that is everything for me.
All right. Well, Thank you for listening to this episode. And always remember, live like tea.
Live like tea.